It's here on Arizona PBS, a community service of Arizona State University.
We made our first donation 40 years ago, and we've been a supporter ever since then because we want to keep Arizona PBS a good, vibrant station, both for us and there's so many programs for other people, whether it's kids or on up. So it takes all of us contributing to make public television work in Arizona.
Well into the future.
For more information about including Arizona PBS in your future plans, visit azpbs.org/giving. Coming up next on Arizona PBS, Life and World.
Witnesses have begun to testify.
Leveraging President Zelensky's desire for a White House meeting.
Hard questions are being asked.
Where did you get this clear understanding?
What will the American public learn? PBS NewsHour special coverage, the impeachment hearings.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
The Hamptons are at the very east end of Long Island.
We have some of the wealthiest people on the planet.
They don't make an effort to help us preserve our Native American sacred sites. We have to live here together.
Conscience Point.
All new Monday night at 9:30 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Deanne Griebel, now with Moores & Cabot Investments, serving investors since 1890, proudly supports quality programming on 8 Arizona PBS, 480-725-9602.
Hospice of the Valley, a not-for-profit community hospice for patients nearing end of life and support for their families. HOV.org.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Congressman Raul Grijalva and other Democrats say the Trump administration's decision to station the National Guard at the border is illegal. We'll take you inside their push to get the Pentagon to investigate.
Plus, how one Valley activist group plans to fight police sweeps on board the light rail.
Tengo que acudir a la gente, al buen corazón de las personas y comprar los medicamentos que me hacen falta.
And how continuing hikes in insulin prices are affecting communities of color across Arizona.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Anthony Totri.
And I'm Ellie Nakamoto-White. Thank you for joining us. Washington has been consumed this week by the impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump, but Democrats today ask if the president broke another law by deploying troops to the U.S.-Mexico border.
Cronkite News reporter Brian Peach has the story live from our Washington bureau.
It's been a year and a half since President Trump first sent troops to the U.S.-Mexico border, but Democrats are still asking if using the military for what they say are political motivations is illegal.
Make no mistake, this decision by Trump to deploy troops to the border was not only alarming, it was unnecessary and raised serious legal questions that the administration has refused to answer.
Representative Raul Grijalva of Tucson was one of more than 30 House Democrats who called on the Pentagon's internal watchdog to investigate the ongoing deployment of troops to the border. They say it could violate an 1878 law that bans the use of the military for domestic enforcement without an okay from Congress.
We're saying you violated this law, and you are now mixing domestic enforcement of the law and asking the military to do that.
While Democrats say the president is using troops as political pawns ahead of next year's election, supporters say the president is just keeping promises he made in the last election. Representative Paul Gosar of Prescott said in a statement that the president promised the American people he would secure our borders and that the priority should be securing our own country before trying to secure others. The deployments began last April with National Guard troops, a move supported by Arizona Governor Doug Ducey. Active duty soldiers were added last fall. Representative Judy Chu of California said the president needs to be held accountable.
He is not above the rule of law, and we certainly cannot allow him to break the law in order to promote a dangerous and racist agenda.
Critics say those deployments not only hurt communities along the border, but bring down the morale of the troops who were trained for military operations overseas, not at home on the U.S. border. And this is not the first time that Grijalva has complained about troops at the U.S.-Mexico border. He wrote to Ducey in April 2018, arguing against the deployment. We reached out to the White House and the Defense Department for comment. The Pentagon said only that the letter is under consideration. In Washington, Brian Peach, Cronkite News.
Meanwhile, the White House announced plans this week to live stream construction of the border wall, but several groups are saying not so fast.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, senior officials with Customs and Border Patrol, and even the contractors building the wall have concerns about the move. They believe a live stream could potentially give away proprietary building techniques or show crews violating border jurisdiction while moving equipment.
Today, the organization Living United for Change in Arizona, known as Lucha, held a rally in downtown Phoenix protesting what they claim to be is unnecessary police sweeps at local light rail stations. The group is asking for changes in procedure, while Valley Metro says, in fact, procedure was followed in the case that triggered this morning's demonstration.
I don't think that transportation should be seen as a crime.
Phoenix resident Mitzi Castro was getting on the light rail near 19th Ave in Camelback Wednesday morning, heading to work.
I had my ticket. I was getting ready to jump on.
But her work commute was interrupted when she says Valley Metro and Phoenix police officers confronted her about not validating her ticket.
I was on the verge of getting arrested, actually. Handcuffs were placed on me.
Castro now says she feels unsafe.
I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted by Phoenix police.
Castro's allegations triggering a protest held by grassroots organization Lucha today in front of Valley Metro's downtown office. One of the demonstrators, Ricardo Zamudio-Guillen, says he doesn't believe the light rail needs police presence.
It's not about the safety of folks. I think here we're doing something extra. We're doing something that is over-criminalizing and not actually keeping anybody safe.
Cronkite News reaching out to Valley Metro for comment, the agency sending a statement that reads, quote, "First and foremost, Valley Metro seeks to create a positive and safe rider experience for all. On November 13th, Phoenix police were present at the 19th Ave/Montebello and 19th Ave/Camelback light rail stations as part of a crime suppression project generated by the Phoenix Police Department. Valley Metro Rail partners with local police departments in Phoenix, Tempe, and Mesa to support enforcement of the rules posted at each station. Fare sweeps occur on occasion to encourage fair and code of conduct compliance. The crime suppression efforts that occurred on November 13th were initiated by the Phoenix Police Department. As a transit agency, we continually evaluate our approach to safety and security based on rider feedback, data, and industry best practices." And while Castro says she has no other choice but to ride the light rail every day for work, she hopes the transportation agency and local police will reevaluate their practices.
If people need to follow the rules, okay, but do it in a way that is not damaging to the community.
We've reached out to Phoenix for their take on the case, but have not heard back as of this broadcast. Lucha also announced they plan on establishing a digital hub for the public to upload footage of police interactions while riding the light rail.
Yesterday was World Diabetes Day. The day was created in 1991 in an effort for the World Health Organization to spread awareness about the growing disease. In the next decade, health officials say 1 in 10 people will develop diabetes. And according to the CDC, diabetes is the 7th leading cause of death in the U.S. In the past few years, prices of insulin have increased astronomically, with communities of color suffering from those price hikes the most. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Mushkat spoke with legislators and members of minority groups to find out if there is a solution to the problem.
Alejandro Rodriguez says he was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes 23 years ago. Since then, he has depended on insulin.
I have to touch people's hearts, and they help me to buy the medicine I need.
According to the American Diabetes Association, the average U.S. price of the 4 insulin categories increased by nearly 17% per year from 2011 to 2016, something that creates a big problem for Rodriguez.
I don't have any money because I don't work, and because I don't have any government help.
People like Rodriguez struggle to pay for insulin, and last year, Arizona Department of Health Services reported that communities of color in Arizona experienced some of the highest rates of diabetes in the state. He says he hopes state legislators do something to lower the prices to help keep him and those who also deal with this disease alive.
You know, as far as the state level, it's really difficult for us to set, a price on insulin. That's more of a federal issue.
Senator Heather Carter joined the American Diabetes Association in combating the high cost of insulin. In a statement, she says, virtually every Arizonan knows somebody affected by diabetes, and finding them access to cheaper alternatives is the right thing to do. For now, Rodriguez has enough insulin for the rest of the month. He says he feels positive that he will continue to have a full life and is hopeful for his future to come. In Phoenix, Ryan Mushcott, Cronkite News.
The World Health Organization said on Wednesday it would begin the process of testing and approving a generic version of insulin.
As temps continue to drop across Arizona, people are taking to social media to share images of the wintry weather we're finally starting to experience here in the desert. AZ Central tweeting out this incredible video of Snow Bowl, and AZ Weather Chick captured the beautiful sunrise in Flagstaff this morning. Speaking of the high country, officials say a rush of water nearing the flow of the Colorado River could run off a fire-scarred area and flood downtown Flagstaff.
We're joined now by our Ricky Cornish for today's weather report. Ricky, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys today?
Doing well.
It's Friday.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before the show. The holidays are just around the corner, but is the winter weather here to stay?
Well, the winter weather has been changing a lot lately, and we're going to see that this week, especially with some rain finally, which I'm looking forward to. We never get weather. I am so looking forward to it. But this weekend, we're actually looking pretty nice, especially if we can compare our temperatures right now to the rest of the southwest region here in the country. Right now, we are actually the warmest compared to Yuma, high of 84 right now. But if we look across the southwest region, 61 in Flagstaff, 74 in Vegas, and 66 as the temperature right now in LA. So it's safe to say we're looking pretty good since it's nice and warm here in Phoenix in November. And if you want to look at the rest of the warm temperatures, starting with tonight, right now 83 degrees at 5 p.m. as the temperatures continue to go down. We're actually dipping into 69 degrees as a high at 10 p.m. So it might be time to break out those light jackets. And if you're thinking of going across the state to check out some other places in our beautiful state of Arizona, up in the northern area of the state, 65 degrees is the high in Grand Canyon. But if you want to stick to the warmer temps, I recommend going down to Tucson or staying right here in Phoenix. It's going to be a lot toastier, especially for tomorrow. Now, here in the valley, we have a ton of events going on since the warmer temperatures are here to stay for a little bit. And I'm talking food festivals are happening this weekend. We have mac and cheese, pizza, and donut festivals all happening this weekend. Mac and cheese is going to be happening tomorrow and Sunday, a two-day festival out in Scottsdale. Tomorrow at Margaret T. Hans Park, right here in downtown Phoenix, we're going to have our pizza festival, and the next day on Sunday, we're going to have donut festival. So it's definitely a carb overload, but it's going to be a lot of fun at the same time. Now, if you want to take a look at that 7-day forecast starting this weekend, Sunday's looking really nice with a high of 86 degrees. Monday, partly cloudy with 84, but this is the crazy part. If we look at the rest of the forecast for the 7-day, 68 as the high on Wednesday with storm chances, and Thursday and Friday, high of 63 with rain. So definitely grab your sweatshirt. It's going to be chilly. In the Weather Center, Ricky Cornish, Cronkite News.
Arts education is an important part of student learning, and to reflect that importance, students can now earn a seal for their diplomas showing mastery of the arts. Cronkite News reporter Rio Painter met with students who hope to earn that distinction.
In May, Governor Doug Ducey signed into law the State Seal of Arts Proficiency. Students and faculty from the Arizona School for the Arts have been closely following the process. The Arizona Arts Education Proficiency Seal is a chance for students to show their hard work and dedication to the arts. Students at Arizona School for the Arts spend the same amount of time practicing their instruments, rehearsing lines, or learning new songs as they do studying for subjects like math or English.
Arts education in general is extremely powerful. It really contributes meaningfully to well-rounded education and to teaching to the whole child, which is extremely important to our Office of Arts Education at the Arizona Department of Education.
To qualify for the seal, the students will need to maintain a specific GPA in their arts courses. Students will also need volunteer hours in that area, as well as a capstone project in their final year of school to show their advancement.
I study theater, and
I really want to pursue acting in a college and a career. And to have this seal shows that I have worked many years and I have dedicated my life to theater.
Not all who obtain the seal will choose to only study arts. Many are looking to prove that in the future they will be able to excel in other areas of education and careers.
I want to be a doctor, but I do think that the arts show a level of dedication, especially the hours you put into it, that show that going forward you will also be that dedicated in whatever you do.
And show colleges that I go above and beyond and I don't just stay in the mediocre.
And put those hours in to kind of make myself a better person and kind of improve on skills that not only relate to the arts but also to the academics too.
This is a voluntary program where districts can opt in or out of. The seal is expected to be ready for 2020 graduates. At the digital desk, Rio Painter, Cronkite News.
The Report, a movie about an investigation of the CIA's detention and interrogation program created after 9/11, highlights the journalistic process Daniel J. Jones went through to uncover the truth about what was hidden from the American public.
Cronkite News reporter Delaney White spoke to director Scott Burns and Daniel J. Jones himself about the film.
After 9/11, everyone was scared.
Possible hijacked plane.
Scared it might happen again.
Obvious terrorist attack.
It was my second day of grad school. Next day, I changed all my classes to national security.
Morning, Dan.
Morning, Senator.
Have you seen the story today in the New York Times?
Evidently, the CIA destroyed tapes of interrogations of al-Qaeda detainees.
I want to find out what was on the tapes, why they were destroyed.
This was a CIA program that was created after September 11th to detain suspected terrorists and interrogate them, and involved the use of torture by the U.S. government. We spent 7 years compiling a report that's, again, 6,700 pages, 38,000 footnotes to the CIA's own records to really tell the story of what really happened, because there was a cover-up and CIA misinformed the president about what they were doing, they misinformed the Congress, and they misinformed the Department of Justice, and we were correcting that record.
Director Scott Burns spoke about the parts of the journalistic process he wanted to focus on in this film.
What I really wanted to highlight was the fact that Dan looked at 6 million documents, sorted through all of this, and was able to put a story together that people can read.
Daniel Jones, played by Adam Driver, spoke about the importance of fact-checking and how it played a role in the findings of his report.
If we couldn't corroborate information, we weren't 100% sure it was true, it didn't go in the report. And then we had people look at the report while we were writing it, something called red teaming, where people are very critical, as critical as they can be about your report. And then you hear those suggestions, you hear their thoughts, and you change the report and you make it stronger. Well, the report itself has 3 big findings. One is that torture is ineffective. The second is that the CIA continually misled the President of the United States and the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, as well as the Department of Justice, about the nature of the program and the effectiveness of the program. And the third is that it was grossly mismanaged and needed oversight from the legislative branch.
Though the movie is focused on past events, director Scott Burns found the theme relates to our current political climate.
I think we are living through a moment that, feels like a crisis of accountability. And what I think is important for people to take away from this is that our system, as flawed as it may be, really can work, but it requires people to behave with the integrity and the rigor with which Dan behaved. And in interviewing, a lot of the senators who are involved in this story, what they all said to me was, because Dan did his job that thoroughly, it forced them to do their job and to stand up and do the right thing. And I hope that lands with people.
The Report is in theaters everywhere starting today.
Coming up next, Cronkite News and Review.
We take a look back at some of our top stories from earlier this week, including a look at the strong push from Arizona school districts to hold vaping companies accountable.
And a deep dive into new polling data showing how Arizonans feel about impeaching the president.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
Stay in the know on the go. At Cronkite News, we work hard to report the facts and keep you updated, whether we're on set or on the scene.
Taking it from the studio to the field. So I'm here in South Phoenix.
In Phoenix, we're just a click away. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or find us online at cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
On the next Arizona Horizon, the Friday Journalists Roundtable makes way for coverage and analysis of Day 2 of the House impeachment inquiry. That's on the next Arizona Horizon.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, emails reveal top Trump aide Stephen Miller promoted white nationalist ideas. Coming up after Cronkite News and Arizona Horizon on Arizona PBS.
While arguments continue in D.C., Arizona has a significant DACA population, with recipients hovering around 25,000 in the state.
Some of them came out Tuesday for a planned rally on ASU's Tempe campus. Cronkite News reporter Frankie McGlister tells us what other local DACA recipients shared with him.
Yeah, I'm here at Arizona State University's Tempe campus. You cannot see it behind me. Promise it's here, but there's a rally being put together by Documented Students for Education Equity. And this is a group here at ASU known as USEE. They say they want to show solidarity with those fighting to uphold DACA.
It means your life is in constant limbo. You don't have the ability to plan for the future because you don't know if you'll be in the country in the next 2 years.
And that's what Phoenix DACA recipient Deyanira Garcia says life has been for the past few months. The student organizer with the grassroots organization Aliento says her family is an example of what DACA can and cannot do.
Right now we're trying to figure out FAFSA, and because that's something that I didn't have access to or that I couldn't have applied for, and we're trying to figure that out because my parents are undocumented.
And while Garcia worries about what may happen to the DACA program, Arizona Dream Act Coalition co-founder Dulce Mactuz, she says dreamers shouldn't sit idly by until the Supreme Court makes a decision next year.
The one thing that I do hope is that nobody stays on the sidelines. We're going to have a decision from the Supreme Court in 2020, so let's not wait until 2020. What are we going to do?
And for his part, President Trump speaking out about DACA today via Twitter, writing, quote, "Many of the people in DACA no longer very young are from angels. Some are very tough, hardened criminals. President Obama said he had no legal right to sign order, but would anyway. If Supreme Court remedies with overturn, a deal will be made with Dems for them to stay," end quote. The president has said in the past he's not in favor of punishing children, but that the previous administration exceeded its authority by creating the DACA program. But for dreamers like Jose Patino, that decision is the reason he's been able to build a life in the United States, the place he's called home since he was about 6 years old.
For me, I would like to have security so that I can continue building my life and live what I call the American dream.
And as the Supreme Court continues to hear arguments, there's going to be more rallies such as this one here at ASU. But us here at Cronkite News, we'll keep you updated. Tomorrow's newscast, we will have what happened here at ASU's rally today. In Tempe, for Cronkite News, I'm Frankie McGlister.
Several school districts across the state are suing the biggest name in vaping.
Among them, Phoenix Union High School, Tolleson Union High School, and Alhambra Elementary School District.
The lawsuit claims Juul designed its products to appeal to youth and misrepresented the amount of nicotine in their devices. It goes on to say the e-cigarette maker successfully created a misleading impression that its products were healthy.
Schools say the burden of addicted teens has fallen on them, with nearly 30% of 8th graders in Arizona saying they vaped at least once. Tucson Unified School District filed its own lawsuit against Juul last month. After the first day of the public impeachment hearings Wednesday, Arizonans weighed in on whether or not they think Trump should stay in office.
Cronkite News reporter Mariah Gallegos visited OH Predictive Insights to learn more about a recent poll conducted in the state.
Although recent analytics have proved that Arizona is a swing state for the upcoming elections, a new poll taken shows that Arizonans are not happy with the job President Trump is doing, but they don't want him removed from office.
When it comes to the topic of impeachment, actually, Arizonans are overall against impeachment when it comes to the president.
Mike Noble with OH Predictive Insights says his team sampled 900 registered voters statewide, and the results show more Arizonans disapprove of Trump, but fewer actually want him removed from office. Trump's combined approval rating is at 46%. 50% disapprove of the job he's doing. When it comes to impeachment, views are split along party lines. Democrats strongly believe Trump should be impeached. Republicans strongly believe he should stay in office. But when it comes to independent voters, 39% believe he should be removed, and 46% think he should remain in office.
When it comes to the all-important independent voters, those swingy voters in the middle, they don't like Trump. However, when it comes to impeachment, they are actually more against it than actually for it.
And with elections around the corner, he believes the independent voters are questioning if the impeachment is worth it.
Elections is the ultimate way for voters to cast an opinion. And so right now, based on Trump's job approval, even with the economy doing incredibly well, he's underwater. However, when it comes to the line of impeachment, again, I don't think voters are quite there to saying he has crossed that line.
Noble said they will be following up with the recent poll, and they have already formed the next set of questions for the impeachment inquiries. Earlier today, we set up a small social experiment in downtown Phoenix, outside of City Hall. For 1 hour, we asked people who were passing by to drop a marble into the glass jar of their choice. The jars were labeled impeach, impeach and remove, and don't impeach. About 24 people participated in the 60 minutes we were there, with the majority of them placing their marbles in the jar labeled impeach and remove. Live in Phoenix, Mariah Gallegos, Cronkite News.
So we want to hear from you. How closely are you following the hearings?
So far, 75% of you say closely. It's not too late to join the conversation. Just head to our Facebook and Twitter feeds to vote in our live interactive polls.
And finally tonight, a Navy SEAL who grew up in Tucson is getting another chance to chase his dreams.
38-year-old Sean Donovan was previously rejected by the Fire Department of New York for being too old. At the time he applied, the FDNY's policy made him roughly 6 months past the cutoff date.
But now, thanks to a bill signed by Governor Andrew Cuomo, veterans are allowed to trim up to 7 years of military service from their age. That means Donovan can now reapply and go through a background check and various testing. We wish him the best of luck.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Great leaders are visionaries.
The second note is this.
That's show business, huh?
We make $200,000 a year in pension. What do you make?
All new tonight at 7:30 on Arizona PBS.
Don't miss Red, Broadway's Tony-winning Best Play.
What do you say?